When you think about reading as far as looking at print on the page is a product of your concepts basically. You can't do that until you have concepts. And I was thinking about how can we think about that. So in a way, I did that. So, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I did, okay? Yeah, so I was thinking about the learner and how do we get to the point where the learner can also be a reader. Okay? And I'm thinking about the learner that's not the 5%. Right? Not the 5% that thinks it's fun to go but, bat, cat, key. Okay? All right, so my learner was here, and I was thinking about the idea of concepts and how concepts layer over time, and how it takes multiple concepts over time to actually have language. Okay? So a concept we talked about can be represented by a visual in your head. And so some of you are dog people. I'm a cat person. So these concepts are going to be about cats. So this could be that this learner has seen a cat. Okay? And maybe one time this learner saw a cat carrying things. Maybe it was a kitten. Let's go with that, a little less gory. There's her little kitten she's carrying back to her thing. And then maybe another time he noticed that, or she or the learner noticed that this cat was running because there was this dog was chasing it. Oh wait, dogs have flat ears, sorry. And they have this kind of tail. Well, I'm just talking about the concepts that he's gained over time. Okay, so these are concepts he's gained over time. But there's multiple concepts going on here, right? It wasn't just the one time that he touched a thing and someone said cat. These are concepts that the child has, or the learner has gained over time. Okay, and being able to perceive that this was happening meant that they need to be able to know what this is. And being able to know that they were carrying it meant that they had to know what this was. And so the concepts start to interconnect. And then maybe there was a time when the learner was with this cat and actually had a chance to pet it, touch it, okay, interact with it. And maybe there was a time where he actually got to hear the cat go meow, okay, make a noise. And then maybe another time he was looking at a picture and he saw this tree. I know there's a little book called The Fire Cat where the big cat runs up the tree and chases the little cats. Okay? And eventually these concepts, or these are actually considered, eventually they start to layer and interconnect. And we call these semantic relationships. It's how these all interconnect with each other, right? Okay, all these different ways that this learner has approached this. So maybe the cat meowed when he petted it. Maybe the cat ran away. So maybe he remembered when he was petting the cat about the picture that he saw, so he knows the cat goes up the tree. So there's lots of things going on here, but these are all the learner's concepts. Okay, over time. And there's many concepts, correct? It's not just one. Anything you have an idea about, you could unpack into many, many, many concepts, many, many layers that deepen over time. Okay? Well, there's going to be another person. Because, the only way that this all occurs is that you have the outside agent throughout time interacting with the learner who's been naming the situations and helping them see how they connect, okay? And when a learner starts layering all these concepts and they are starting to be able to say, oh yeah, I saw a cat running up a tree, okay? All right, so this has been happening over time. Now, the kid goes to school and it's time to learn to read, all right? And if all of this has been going on, and the outside person has been talking about cats and naming them, and there's lots of concepts going on, The teacher comes along and can say or show this idea too. I don't want it to be too mushed up. Okay? Okay? And this learner, because he's got all of these interconnected semantic relationships over time that have been labeled and tagged by an outside agent, which is the adult, can now take this idea and connect it to their concepts. And when they can take this, this is a symbol. It's an agreed upon symbolic symbol that we've said means cat. And they have all of this to connect it to. Now they read the idea cat. Okay. So this is reading. Reading is making meaning from a symbol. This is a symbol. This is a symbol. That's McDonald's, by the way. This is a symbol that represents something because we've agreed upon it. Okay? But it takes all of those layers for us to be able to acquire these symbols. And we have to remember that that sensory input also is going to impact our ability to acquire the concepts, which then allow us to acquire the symbols. But reading and words and the squiggles of words are symbols. We have to realize that. That's the thirdness. That's a very formal, complex representation of our own personal concepts. Imagine them all gone. And we say do this. And we say do that. Help them acquire concepts. So here, guess we do not teach reading. We help learners acquire, concepts. The kids that are strong visual cognators, that are just pick it up, well, they just can read. That's because this was all happening in a neurobiological learning system that the sensory input worked for them. Okay?